And welcome to Local Edition on Time Warner Cable. This is the Sacramento Report. I'm Steve Swat. My guest this segment is Anthony Portantino, member of the State Assembly from Pasadena. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks, Steve. Thanks for having me.
We have a short window, about 4 minutes or so. We thought we'd give you a chance to crow about two of your bills that have been very successful in recent weeks, and so give you a chance to talk about them. And one deals with further disclosure at the state capitol in terms of trying to learn a little bit more about our state legislators in terms of where they're getting their outside income.
Right. Well, one of the most important things California did back in the 70s was the Political Reform Act, which created a system of financial disclosure for politicians. Let the public know where our, frankly, finances are coming from. And as we've seen in the presidential campaign, those are important questions that the public wants to know. Frankly, you know, what are politicians making and where are they making it from? And so we created a form back in the 70s to help further that goal. Unfortunately, it hasn't been updated all this time. So we've been very successful. It's called the Form 700. We've been successful. We've sent a bill to the governor that basically narrows the financial ranges to create a more accurate picture for the public. And, you know, as a politician who fills it out every year, I don't have a problem with the public knowing where my money comes from, and no one else should.
But I can tell you, as a former Capitol reporter who used to pore over those records, those numbers were pretty vague, and we didn't really learn a lot.
Right, and that's the point. That's the problem we're solving. Oftentimes the public says, what's the problem you're solving? That's specifically the problem. The ranges were way too long, you know, from $1 to 10,000, from 10,000 to 10 million. It didn't create an accurate picture for the public to get. And so what we've done is we've narrowed those ranges so the public, the reporters, anybody can pick it up and say, you know what, all right, now I know what that person's making from that source, what they're making from that source, and what they're making from that source.
And somehow you got your legislative colleagues to go along.
You know, this was one where we really didn't do a lot of press on. We just wanted to get it through the system, and we've been successful, and looking forward to being signed by the governor and becoming California law in January.
All right. One of the other bills that you're dealing with is interesting. I mean, it sort of targets the investor-owned utilities, PG&E, SoCal Edison, San Diego Gas and Electric, because you don't think that they really communicate well with some localities in terms of emergency preparedness?
Well, as a customer myself who had to live through the devastating windstorms of the San Gabriel Valley, there were hundreds of thousands of customers who were without power for days and weeks in the aftermath of the tremendous windstorms last year that went through the San Gabriel Valley. And what I learned is that there's really no standard of emergency preparedness from investor-owned utility to investor-owned utility. Some put their crews, monitored weather reports and put their crews in the field waiting to anticipate where they could be, and others didn't. Others had ramped up their crews to be prepared, others didn't. And the taxpayer, the ratepayer, pays a portion of their rate for emergency preparedness. So it's not a funding issue. We're already paying for it. So what my bill does is it says those investor-owned utilities every 3 years must sit down with the counties in their jurisdiction and invite the city public works directors to those meetings to better coordinate emergency preparedness and update it every 3 years. And the California Public Utilities Commission must set some standards of emergency preparedness. Let our regulatory agency do their job and make sure everybody's doing what they're supposed to do according to Hoyle, and let's make sure that communication goes on every 3 years so we're better prepared. We got devastated by a windstorm. When the big disasters come, and I want to make sure we've done everything we can as legislators and everything we can to be prepared.
All right. Well, we're out of time, but congratulations on both those bills getting out, and we appreciate you coming here to share that with us.
Thank you, sir.
And thanks to our viewers for watching Local Edition on Time Warner Cable. A reminder, you can see this and other interviews on My Government On Demand, also on YouTube. I'm Steve Swat. Have a great day.